Hello, I'm Father Joe Gambala, and today is Monday of the fourth week of Ordinary Time, and our Gospel is taken from the Gospel according to St. Mark. Jesus and his disciples came to the other side of the sea, to the territory of the Gerasenes. When he got out of the boat, at once a man in the tombs, but an unclean spirit met him. The man had been dwelling among the tombs, and no one could restrain him any longer, even with a chain. In fact, he had frequently been bound with shackles and chains, but the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles smashed, and no one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the hillsides, he was always crying out and bruising himself with stones. Catching sight of Jesus from the distance, he ran up and prostrated himself before him, crying out in a loud voice, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? I adjure you by God, do not torment me." He had been saying to him, "Unclean spirit, come out of the man." And Jesus said to him, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Legion is my name, for there are many of us." And he pleaded earnestly with them not to drive them away from the territory. Now a large herd of swine was feeding there on the hillside, and they pleaded with him, "Send us into the swine, let us enter them." And he let them, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the swine. And the herd was about 2,000, and it rushed down a steep bank into the sea, and all the swine drowned. Swineherds ran away and reported the incident to the town, throughout the whole countryside. The people came out to see what had happened, and as they approached Jesus, they caught sight of the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons, sitting there, clothed by his right hand. And they were seized with fear. Those who witnessed the incident explained to them what had happened to the possessed man and to the swine. Then they began to beg Jesus to leave their district. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed pleaded to remain with Jesus, but Jesus would not permit him, but told him instead, "Go home to your family and announce to them all that the Lord in his pity has done for you." And the man went off, began to proclaim into the Decapolis what Jesus had done for him, and all were amazed. The gospel of the Lord. This territory that Jesus is entering is Gentile territory. These are the descendants of one of the armies of Alexander the Great, who had conquered the area some 300 years before. And so that's why they have swine, because of course a Jewish farmer, pigs were foul and forbidden, and they never would have pigs on their farm, but the Gentiles, yes. And so Jesus performs a tremendous miracle. He expels this man from all of his demons. He's cured them. The demons go into the swine. They all run off and drown. The people come out to see it, and you would think they'd be so happy for the man, they'd rejoice in it. But they're not. They're far more concerned about the loss of the swine. And so they plead Jesus to leave. It's very sad. Well, Jesus is going to get in the boat and leave, but the man who was cured, the man who was saved, he begs to go with Jesus. Jesus says, "No, I have a special job for you. Go back to your people. Tell them everything that happened." Jesus knows that if he does this, these people might come around to believing in Jesus. And we're going to hear a few days from now what happens to those people and this man.